Okay, in our introduction, we discussed that not all of our thoughts are thoughts that we should agree with or that we should allow to be directing our lives. So, our first step is really to catch the thought. See, catch the thought. See, out of captive, catch the thought. Ask yourself, what am I thinking? Most thoughts really operate unchecked because we never slow down long enough to examine them. We notice that we feel anxious, we're discouraged, we're rejected, we feel angry, we're overwhelmed, we feel lonely, but we don't stop to ask what are the thoughts that are contributing to those feelings? Because feelings emerge from the thoughts that we entertain. Catching the thought means that slowing down and identifying specific messages running through our mind is important. It might sound like, I'm going to fail. She doesn't care about me. I have to make this work. Nothing's ever going to change. I might as well just completely do this on my own. I'm not sure God even knows I'm here. When we don't clean up our thoughts, we gather trouble because our thoughts begin to take us off in an avenue in which God does not want us to go. That's why he tells us that we're to think on the things that are pure and good and lovely. So it's important that we remember that we have to capture our thoughts. When if we're way beyond that point and we're feeling the emotion of our thoughts in anxiety and fear and anger or um, loneliness, some sort of emotion, negative emotion, we can stop that emotion and go back and think, okay, now what started this? And then we can capture that thought and we can do the work there. Because if we don't capture our thought, it's going to be like picking fruit. We can pick the fruit and get rid of it, but it will come back unless we go back to where it started. So we need to look at what we're thinking captures our thoughts. So look at your worksheet and complete this sentence. What is the thought that I keep having, or what the thought that I keep having is? Now, we're going to work through one thought throughout this workshop so that you have the system to be able to capture your thoughts. I'm going to remain quiet here for about 30 seconds, or you can stop the video, but I don't have a whole lot to say. Let me just finish. If you're having difficulty identifying the thought, think about a current fear that you deal with, or a frustration, or a relationship, or a decision, or a situation that's really got you tied up in knots, or something that you just haven't been able to move forward from. And think about the thought that surrounds that. Usually it's one. It may have a different flavor, but usually the root of it is one thought. And what sentence keeps repeating when your mind when you think about it? Catching the thought does not mean that you've agreed with what is true. It just means that it's true or it's not true. It means that you're simply bringing it out into the open so that it can be examined. And all of our thoughts should be worth examining. If it's not worth examining, then we probably shouldn't have it, right? So you can't intentionally confront a thought that you've never identified. That's why it's so important that we take the time to capture it, look at it, identify it, think about it, and decide, is this a thought that we need to keep, and it doesn't really align with what God says or who he is. All right, this is video number 1. Once you've finished the sentence, the thought I keep having is, and then what is that? Repeat. What is that thought that you're having? Once you know what that is, go ahead and go move to the next video.